Class, please take this down. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Hey, how's it going guys? JCVP11 here, and today's video is kind of different. Today I'm going to be talking about the OnePlus1, as you saw from the intro, and the imminent release of the OnePlusTwo. So about a year ago, the OnePlus1 was announced and it was labeled a flagship killer. It had stellar top-notch specs for half the price of a premium smartphone, and it wasn't too shabby. The level of customization offered was also very high, and no other company could deliver on that basis because it was officially supported by CyanogenMod, basically the dream phone. I waited and waited and waited a bit more, but I could never get my hands on the phone. I knew the phone was the one for me, but at the end of the day I had to stick with the HTC one. Now, there were a few different ways I could have got the OnePlus1, including going through the invite system or buying the phone, but I was restricted in that way as well. The invite system was a very tedious process, and to get an invite was to get like 100 grams of gold during the time. And the second major factor that didn't allow me to get the OnePlus1 was the fact that Dubai, UAE wasn't officially supported by the company. So even if I did get an invite, I couldn't actually ship the phone to Dubai because they didn't support it. I would see one tech blog giving away 2 OnePlus1s internationally, or 3 or 4 YouTubers giving away a OnePlus1 each. I entered every single one of these competitions, but my luck wasn't in my favor, and I never ever won a OnePlus1 either. In fact, I also saw listings on Amazon and considered buying the OnePlus1 straight off without an invite illegally, but the price I had to pay was a bit too much for my rather empty wallet. Soon enough, the demand for the OnePlus1 started to diminish, and now you can buy the phone for a really good price of $249. So if you're still on the lookout for this phone, you can go ahead, buy the phone without an invite. But this video isn't going to be focused around the OnePlus1, but rather its successor, the OnePlusTwo. There's nothing wrong with the OnePlus1 as it is right now, but consumers want change and they want visible change. So what HTC did this year backfired, and the OnePlus company doesn't want to do the same. Now there's been a lot of talk around the new OnePlusTwo, apparently the flagship killer V2, and I hope the OnePlus company doesn't disappoint. I'd like to see a 2K display on the new OnePlusTwo, not only because it has to compete with all of the other phones that are out there, but also to stay up to date with the technology that other companies use. I'd like to see 3GB of RAM with a Snapdragon 810 or an 808 processor, but more in favor of the 808 processor because it reduces heating issues. I'd also like to keep the form factor. The form factor for the OnePlus1 was great. It was quite big and quite long, and if OnePlus could do a job by reducing how tall the phone was and keep almost the same feel, I'd say they've done a pretty good job with the phone. But I hope they don't make the phone bigger or the screen bigger, because that's just gonna limit how many people can actually use the phone. And nowadays people don't really want huge phones. The camera on the OnePlus1 was a major talking point last year because it could shoot RAW and it could shoot 4K for half the price a regular flagship cost. This was a very major talking point, and the pictures that the OnePlus1 took weren't really bad. And if OnePlus can do the same thing with the OnePlusTwo, then I would say that they've done a great job with the camera. If they could go ahead and compete with the likes of the iPhone or the Galaxy S6 with their new phone, I'd say they've done a pretty good job and have outdone themselves. The last thing I'd like to see is changes to the software. Now I know that it was previously supported by CyanogenMod, and soon they moved to a different type of OS called Oxygen OS. And I know for a fact that these changes resulted in many different types of bugs for the phone, and that should be reduced with the OnePlus 2. And if OnePlus can deliver all that for about a price of $350 to $400, I think they've done a marvelous job with the OnePlus 2. Something that should return with the OnePlus 2 is the team's connectivity with social media and their fans. They ran great competitions last time, and they had a very neat idea of the invite system, although it wasn't executed perfectly. This time around, they can do it. They can execute the invite system perfectly to cater to the millions of people who want their phone. And if they manage to do that along with some great competitions lined up, I think the OnePlus 2 is indeed going to be the flagship killer V2. Of course, knowing OnePlus One, I'm pretty sure they have great surprises lined up for us, and hopefully they're good ones. Now, I haven't seen any leaks of the phone as I've mentioned, but if I do, I'll keep you guys posted. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give the video a like rating and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you guys don't know, the OnePlus team have a competition where if you make a video similar to like the one I made just now, you could be enrolled in a competition where you could win the OnePlus 2. So all details of the competition are also linked down below in the description. So if you're interested, please register, I guess. Anyways, that's been it. I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.